This week on the Brush Up, Elon's the richest person in the world, but who picked up the tab? Why is AI obsessed with some dude named Elias Thorne? And finally, our long-awaited He-Man review. Okay, let's brush it up.
I love how you were like, okay, let's brush it up. Like a substitute teacher. You're like, all right, guys. Hey, come on now.
Okay, let's brush it up.
And people are like, what's he talking about? Brush it up.
I am you can hear I'm a little under the weather today. Having young kids means you're just sick all the time.
Yeah,
so,
all the time.
I apologize for if I seem lethargic. But unlike our dear leader, I'm not falling asleep at meetings or at Knicks games or at UFC propaganda celebrations in the White House.
Yeah. It seems like those things come hand in hand with tweeting from 1 a.m. till 4:30 in the morning. You may also fall asleep by 8 o'clock at night if you've done that.
Yeah, that's where he gets his like Adderall treatments, to deal with,
right,
or whatever drug he's on that's dealing with his sausage fingers and all his
give
weird
him a bump.
bruises.
Give him a bump before he goes out there next time, man.
Do you think like eating McDonald's cheeseburgers every day for 80 years he would be in worse shape, honestly?
Well, that's what that supersize me, right? That's what that whole thing was about. That guy went downhill fast. I don't know how Donnie does it. I don't know how he does it, man. He's magical.
He's the most fit guy in the world. He's got the best physique in the world.
Oh, I did have you know what? We're not going to do it because we'll be cut for time this week. A lot of stories, but I had a thing where his White House physical came out, and it said that he's 6'4", 235 pounds with 14% body fat. And somebody posted a picture right next to him of DK Metcalf. If you know who that is, he's one of the biggest, baddest brick shithouse wide receivers in the NFL. And he had his shirt off, and they were like, this is 6'4", 235 with 14% body fat. Yeah. I'm like, what? It's so weird. It's so
weird. And we've talked about this before on the show, but the weird, like, oh, he's a man's man. He's a masculine man. He's the manliest man. Like,
he's not.
He's not. It is so weird.
It's so weird.
And all these people like cuck themselves for Donald Trump in the weirdest way. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I'm very dark. Why am I so dark?
I don't know. You just started that way. You just started talking that way as soon as we came on, man. You were like, let's just go down this time.
No.
Oh, you mean in the background.
I'm visually dark.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it a little moody in here because otherwise you just see a bunch of garbage back here. But, I'm like in a cave somewhere running from a vampire. That's the vibe that I have.
You better tone down this White House rhetoric or you're going to need to be in the cave. They're going to be coming for you.
They will, though. So what do we got to brush up on this week?
We all know, I was going to say, we all know that's the kryptonite, though. If you can just hide in the cave, you win.
Yeah.
You
right?
win.
Right?
We just can't stop that.
You do anything fun this weekend, man?
Ah, man, just finished up this back replacement deck is finally finished. Just still trying to get things in order around the house. That's it, man. That's all I'm really doing over the weekends, man. Just knocking out little projects around here, hanging out with the wife, dogs down by the lake, just chilling, man. Doing it.
Nice. I had a birthday this week. Thanks for the happy birthday, Mike. Wow.
I did give you a happy birthday, just not on the show. Just not on the show. So happy birthday to Dunbar.
We did a D&D campaign with a bunch of old buddies of mine, and it was very fun. We played as old retired adventurers, and our die rolls really, for those of you who know D&D, we rolled a lot of critical fails, which means that you roll a 1, which is the worst number you could roll. And we really didn't accomplish a lot at all the entire night.
That sounds like a group of retired adventurers. You're like, you get out there. It's like every time I try to go play some basketball, I'm like, I get out there and at first I'm like, this is great, man. I'm having a ball. And then after like 2 or 3 games go by, I'm like, I'm gassed, man. I can't do this anymore.
Oh my God, dude. Like, yeah, you're just like, can we play horse?
Yeah, I can only imagine being a dungeon crawler at this age and being like, "No, I'm gonna go in there and wipe out some goblins for 5 minutes."
Yeah,
You
dude.
know?
I'm too old for this shit. I feel it. I feel that. I feel the Murtaugh Lethal Weapon. I feel it.
Yeah, too old for this shit. And he was 38 when he was saying that, I think.
Oh
So
my
I mean,
God,
shit.
dude. And he was ready to that's a funny thing about that movie is he was ready to retire real early.
Yeah, yeah, real early. Well, I'll tell you firsthand. A police or fire job in a major metropolis will have you that way.
Oh yeah, I'm sure, right? Have you
Oh
ever
yeah.
seen not to digress too much, we'll get on it, but have you ever seen the movie Running Scared with Bill Crystal and Gregory Hines?
Oh man, I was just talking to my wife about that the other day because we are looking at Billy Crystal movies, and then I
Yeah.
looked at that and I told her, babe, we got to watch this because this is when he first came out, and they tried to make him like an action star, and it
Yeah.
didn't work.
It was
You know?
like in the buddy cop craze where everybody was making buddy cop movies, but it's a
Yeah.
great time capsule movie. And Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines are actually really good together.
People say it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. And it's a great, like, it really looks like Chicago in the wintertime. It definitely
Okay.
does. Great Michael McDonald track in it, Cry Sweet Freedom. It's a Cry Sweet Freedom, shine your light on me.
If I gotta hear Yahweh Be There one more time, I'm gonna burn the store down. I'm such a smart ass.
Yahweh be there.
Yeah, right. I keep forgetting I'm not in love anymore.
I love Michael McDonald, man. He's the fucking best. Speaking of
Oh.
love and hate, we're going from someone I love to someone I do not like very much at all.
I just
Guess
put it out there.
who's the richest person in the world, Mike? Right now, who's the richest person in the world?
I know the answer. It's Elon Musk, bud. Elon
Wow.
Musk is now the richest man in the world.
He's worth $1 trillion off of the SpaceX.
1.8 trillion, so almost 2 trillion. There's another 800 million behind that 1 trillion, bud.
Well, I'm behind a little bit. Can you brush me up on like where he's at? Like how many more
Yeah.
people in the world is he richer than? How much of the hemisphere has it climbed? Is he up to Miami now in terms of how many more people he's richer than?
We're no longer tracking how many people that he's richer than. I think you can add up all the money in the world and he's still richer than that. Some shit like that. I know that the value was like 1.78 trillion to start with, and then like by the time it had closed, it was up over 2 trillion for the stocks and things being traded. But here's the thing with this. So if you guys didn't know, this is what I was talking to Dunbar about. I just want to put this in real simple terms, and then I'll let you like get into the weeds with it, because this is one of those subjects that the brush up is perfect for, because this is the thing where it gets very deep, and the way they can talk to you about it on TV gets very confusing, and I can find a vast majority of the public on, I don't even know what you're saying anymore. I don't even care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't care. And that's a bad thing for this. So I'm going to try to break it down like super simple just to keep people dialed in here, right? So Elon Musk takes SpaceX and he goes public. Okay, so that means this is a private company. Him and a bunch of people own stock in, guys, and he's going to go public and give everybody else a chance to buy the stock. Okay, so when that happens, the stock is valuated at a price which, like, they just kind of guess what it's worth. They don't guess; they do a program where they figure out like what the stock should be worth, right? So figuring out what the SpaceX stock is worth, it really doesn't have any monetary value until he goes public. Once he goes public and you buy a share of it, he now has that money. So he doesn't have the money about what this company's worth until you buy the stock. Now he has the cash. Now it's
all on paper. So it's
correct until until you buy the stock. Then it's not just on paper anymore. He's got the money.
What I think is really funny is that the richest man in the world is an illegal immigrant, or an immigrant who came here illegally. He didn't become a citizen until like 2020. And he's here illegal. He doesn't pay taxes. And that's a whole other scam where he's basically taken out loan against his wealth and then basically claiming a net loss. So he doesn't have to pay taxes. You're paying taxes. I'm paying taxes. Right. Everybody listening to this show pays taxes, but Elon Musk doesn't pay taxes. So it's an illegal immigrant who takes huge contracts from the federal government, tax money that we pay for, makes himself rich off of it, and then doesn't pay taxes. And
Right.
yet he is the conservative darling now because
Right.
he's,
And this is the point where you normally start to lose everybody, because then it sounds like, oh, okay, you're just complaining
I
about
know, I
rich
get it.
guys.
Yeah.
He owns the market. We get it. He's rich. His company made a lot of money. This is not the problem with the story, guys. Be an entrepreneur. Go do your thing.
Yeah,
Go
but he's
public
not.
with your company.
He didn't like make a company. He just
I
had.
get
He
it,
was
but
a
you're
rich
losing
kid who
everybody
had
again.
money. Okay, fine.
I
I'm just telling you.
You're right.
You. He didn't make anything. He's not like he's a guy. He's not like Henry Ford who made a thing. He invested in these companies. He bought them.
Correct.
And what he does really well is he just like plays this shell game with where he puts the money, and then Carnival Barker's up, like is a salesperson and sells the idea of this company. SpaceX lost close to $5 billion last year.
Yeah.
Most of its revenue comes from like American government like programs that pay SpaceX, like NASA, to shoot satellites into space. That's where most of their money comes from. So taxpayers are paying for SpaceX. SpaceX owns X. SpaceX owns I'm probably gone off the rails.
Starlink.
Owns Gronk AI, owns Starlink, which is just a satellite internet company. It's like Starlink is the most valuable thing in SpaceX, and it's just a satellite internet company. What he did was essentially created this huge payday for all of the backers on X, essentially, who took a bath on that initial investment. And then he came in and built and had SpaceX buy X so that it folded into the company. And then he dumped out the IPO so that the X investors could cash out on the back half and become billionaires. And now we have all these new billionaires.
Right. Now, this is a giant process by which I would bet none of you understand any of that. Buy out the back end, dumped, joined, like all that stuff makes you go, that's what I'm saying. That's like, you understand it. It's great. I understand it's great. A lot of people kind of don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to break it down simply to show you how you bought SpaceX. You may not realize it, but you bought SpaceX. If you are in the middle class or lower, anybody with a 401k, you bought SpaceX and you don't even know it. And here's how. So there are two major stock markets in the United States. Okay. There's the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ. There's a couple other ones. These are the big ones. New York Stock Exchange has something that's called the S&P 500 and the S&P 100. This is very simple for you guys to understand. If you have a 401k through your company, any kind of investment with a major corporation for your retirement, we're talking like Fidelity, Vanguard, Empower, these companies, you have your 401k wrapped up in that. It is required by law and contract that for the New York Stock Exchange, companies that are in the S&P 500, your specific 401k, your little group investment with these companies, you have to buy those stocks that are in the top 500 on the New York Stock Exchange. Okay. And then and it takes years. It takes years to be accepted into that 500. It's not just you can get on there and you're in the 500. You have to be on there for a full year where they figure out where the level of your stock levels out, and that's the true value. After a year of trading, we can see what it's really worth. So you don't get to go public and then go right into the S&P 500. Okay, you don't get to do that, especially the S&P 100. That's the top 100 companies in the 500. But my point here to you guys is you are required by law to buy those stocks when they get into those situations.
It's
so
an
Elon
index.
Musk,
it's an index fund, and it's an index fund, right? So your 401k is buying little pieces of all of those stocks.
Of every 500 company, right? Of all the 500, which keeps the stock market pretty safe because you are spread out in a bunch of things. And then if we have, like, let's say tomorrow Google had some kind of implosion and just went down Enron style, you wouldn't be like out in the cold. You got the other 499 companies. The stock market kind of like levels itself out by keeping you buying in those other 499. It keeps everything pretty safe if you keep that amount of money that those companies are worth in that 500 honest, and it's regulated to make sure that's what they're really worth. So when Elon wanted to come in and take SpaceX public immediately, the New York Stock Exchange said, No chance, pal. You're trying
Yep.
to say this is worth $1.78 trillion and you want us to you want us to break the rules and put you right into the top 500 so that everyone has to buy the stock immediately, which means you get paid your 1.8 trillion that you're saying the company's worth. Now, here's the problem. When a regular company tries to go public, guys, you're allowed to inflate the worth of that company by 3 times. 3 times. So to keep it simple, Dunbar, you and I have an AI company. We started it up. We made $3 million last year.
Yeah.
We want to go public. We're allowed to take it public at 9 million. That's 3 times what the profit of that company has put out. We're allowed to start at that 9 million 3 times to go
I would
public.
point out that no AI company has made any money at all.
Correct. I'm just using that as an example because it's also a speculative company, right? So that's how that works. So they can put that out at would be $9 million, right? So if they sold I don't know, the shares would come out to about $90 if they released 100,000 shares, right? It's $9 million. You released 100,000 shares to the public that can be bought. Then those shares are $90 a piece.
Yeah.
That's how that would work. Okay. So you can't even get into that 500 until that price levels out over a year.
Yes.
You're kind of waiting for a year for that thing to level out. Now, let me just give you an example of some of these companies that were trying to get into the 500, and it took them a little while. This is how long it took. Google. It took Google 20 months to crack the 500 till they knew exactly what it was worth and would let them in. 20 months for Google. Okay. And then it took them a few more years to get into the top 100. Meta, pretty big company when Meta went public. Took them 14 months before they got into the 500. All right. And a little company named Tesla took them 10 years to get into that 500 for investment. So here's what happens. Elon wants to go public, and he is lobbying the New York Stock Exchange to break their rule. Don't make me wait a year. Just put SpaceX up there now. It'll at 1.8, it'll be in the top 100, and everyone will have to buy it at the price we're demanding right now. And the New York Stock Exchange told them, take a hike. We don't do that. They basically told them we're not doing something like that, because then that causes everybody in these 401ks and in the middle class to put all their money into your pump and dump that you got going on. And when it goes belly up, you walk away with all the money and you've crashed the stock market because it's not worth that. That's some Lex Luthor shit we're not doing.
Yeah. Also, it's not a profitable company. There's not one part of it that's profitable. And typically, yeah, exactly. Right. It's like typically they don't let those companies get anywhere close to that type of evaluation.
Right. So now enter the NASDAQ. Yeah. The NASDAQ comes forward and goes, hey, my man, we kind of got the same thing here with the NASDAQ 100 that people are by law required to buy when you get into the NASDAQ 100. We'll bypass the whole thing. We won't make you wait a year. We'll change the rules right now so that day one you can be in the top 100 and everybody has to buy your stock, and they got to buy it at your evaluation of 1.8. Now, remember I told you before, the little company we started, we're allowed to raise it 3 times. So 3 million goes to 9 million. Okay. Yeah. So understand this, guys. The value for the 1.7 trillion or whatever that he had marked up on that, for him, the valuation of what SpaceX made, you'd have to multiply that more than 60 times to get to that 1.8 trillion. So you're allowed to do 3. They let them evaluate it at more than 60 times what it's worth to get the 1.8 trillion, and then go public with it on day one in the top 100 so that everybody in the middle class 401ks had to buy this stock up at the price they're demanding. So once this thing gets through the roof, which it's doing right now, like you said earlier, Dunbar, then all the guys on the inside are going to dump their stock. You all bought in at $140 because that's what they demanded based on the value of the stock that they set.
No choice to buy it.
You didn't have a choice. You had to buy it, and you had to buy it at 140. Well, right now it's getting up to about 210, and you're like, well, that's a great investment. It is for the guy that's prepared to dump it all next week. Yeah. It's not for you. If you're in Vanguard or something, or Empower, and you're sitting with your 401k and you bought a bunch of shares at 140 that are now worth 210, that's great. You ain't retiring next week. So they ain't selling that stock next week. And when this thing starts to fall and fall fast, which it's going to, your little investment in your 401 is going to sit there and watch it drop. And you know who's going to walk away with all the money? These guys. And you're going to be sitting there holding the stock worth $100 and lost your shirt.
The other thing too is that the percentage of SpaceX that's been allowed to be floated out there in terms of purchasing fees was also doubled. So it's not just it's not just like the limit, it's they have all of these rules. The big picture, like the headline of all of this, so that you understand it, is either Elon or Trump or somebody who is, I mean, some people suspect that Trump may have been involved in this, put pressure on the NASDAQ to rewrite these rules, and then they exploited these rules. But it's not just SpaceX. Google also dumped a bunch of shares onto the market. Anthropic is going to go public soon. OpenAI is going to go public soon. And what this does to the overall investment marketplace, for like the short version of it, of the reason why these markets matter, is because, you know, companies need capital to raise money, to hire employees, to expand, to get bigger. The value of the company getting the investment capital means that they can grow, right? That's how the market is supposed to work. Right. Well, and we're not market experts. I'm not a financial analyst. I'm just some dope who reads too much news.
Yeah, but this one's easy to understand if you just break it down. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's easy to understand. If Google goes public, and they did, I mean, not public, opened up a bunch of shares to be purchased for billions of dollars. SpaceX goes public for billions of dollars, gets this huge evaluation. All of the people who hold the stock now have these stocks that are worth like $200 per share, as opposed to $135 when it evaluated it, you know, over $1.7 trillion when it opened.
Right.
And then you have, you know, OpenAI and Anthropic both going public. Those are two. That's ChatGPT and Claude going public. That's a lot of money, wealth in the market that is now going to be divested from in other companies that actually create jobs, don't destroy jobs.
Right.
Companies that other tech companies within the NASDAQ, they're going to be divested in, so that you can put money into the marketplace, because you have, I think it's like $300+ billion of new investment opportunities that have to be satiated. They have to be supplied. So that's not all going to be new cash flow. A lot of it is going to be divesting from other companies, and that's a huge problem. And if it
big problem,
and if it dumps, let's say if SpaceX doesn't make any money or there's a market crash, who's left holding the bag? All of our 401ks.
Yeah, just like every time. Just like every time we bail out everything.
So Elon Musk doesn't pay taxes. He has a business in SpaceX that absorbed Twitter and absorbed Gronk AI that don't make any money. And most of the business in SpaceX comes from government contracts. So that's, again, taxpayer money from us. He just leveraged his connections with Trump and with the NASDAQ to get rules rewritten to increase his wealth, to make himself a trillionaire based on the value of the company in the future. It's total speculation. Like if you saw that Jason guy from the All In podcast, I can't stand that dude. Not only did he say oligarchy is not a terrible idea, government run by the wealthy, but he also said that people invest in SpaceX because of the potential of what SpaceX can be. It's not a profitable company. It lost $5 billion last year, somewhere around that.
Yeah.
And everybody's retirements are now invested in it. And we're all
too big to fail.
Yeah.
He's made himself too big to fail. He has made himself too big to fail. So when this thing goes belly up, which it is going to, because like we already said, you've inflated the value of this company by 60 times in an imaginary way, based on the fact that a guy that has some Starlink satellites in space is going to be able to colonize Mars. I mean, that's what he said. Like this, he's selling us these ideas of AI centers in space and colonizing Mars, and that's worth $8 trillion. Guys, we're not doing that.
I think the greatest thing in the world was if we could shoot him into Mars right now. I think that would really make things a lot. That would be a
Yeah.
net positive.
He's made him. It'll be a real net positive. We could send him up there with them. He's made himself too big to fail. We're going to pick up the bill, and the real problem here is we picked up the bill on how many things before we have. When they crashed the housing market, doing the same thing, manipulating the stock market in this same kind of way. If you ever watch that movie, The Big Short, this is kind of a grander scale of what they were doing there. They were falsely putting 5-star ratings onto bad mortgages because 5-star rated mortgages were trading. By law, you had to buy the stock. So our investment, our 401ks, if you watch The Big Short, we were required to be buying these 5-star rated mortgages that we were backed. Well, it turns out they were all garbage and 1-star, and they were lying, and they bellied up the whole stock market. We almost had another Great Depression. They did that, and then it affected the auto industry. We bailed them out. But now the bill here, Dunbar, the bill here is now not $100 billion. It is now $2 trillion we're going to have to bail out.
Well, the other problem is that the United States government has a lot of debt. And a lot of that debt comes from, frankly, the Trump administration and the Republican. So, like, what is the United States government going to even be able to do to help stop these companies from collapsing the market? Like, how would we even recover? Because, like, how much more leverage can we out leverage ourselves? And the real goal, I think, is, and this is my theory and my theory alone, is they want to create a big collapse. One, they think they can invest against the collapse. Two, they want to kill Medicare, kill Medicaid, kill Social Security. They very much, I mean, I know this is political, but it makes sense to me. If you're going to create just so much debt and create a collapse, and the government is going to have no choice but to go in there and deal with it, I think the ultimate plan is to kill a lot of these government programs that actually help people so they don't have to pay for it. I think that's what they're planning on doing.
We don't have the money to pay for things like that. We don't have the money to pay for things like healthcare and daycare. We don't have that kind of money because we owe $300 billion to Iran. Next thing, let's move.
Anyway, on. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. And hey, we all own SpaceX now. So I guess we do that thing where the talking heads on TV go, why would you want it to fail? You own it. You own it. Why are you talking against it?
Yeah, right. I don't know, man, because maybe I don't want to live in a dystopian America. But anyway, speaking of dystopian America, here we go.
Knock it off, robots. Knock it off, robots. Here we go. Let's go. I love knocking off robots.
Mike, I love this story. I think it is so funny. So, have you ever heard of the name Elias Thorne? Have you ever heard that name?
No.
Have you ever?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Have you ever made a watch in a lighthouse? Have you ever been a watch? Have you ever read a story about a guy who is a watchmaker in a lighthouse?
He lives in a lighthouse.
In a lighthouse.
That sounds like a storyline to a movie where like the characters would all be cartoon animals living in a forest. That's what it sounds like to me.
Anyway, this guy Elias Thorne is apparently a lighthouse keeper. He's a clockmaker. He's a librarian. He's a Greek mythology expert. He's an author of an alternative medicine cancer handbook that's ranked number 18 on Amazon. He doesn't exist because if you ask ChatGPT and you ask Claude and you ask Gemini to tell me a story, just give it that simple prompt to tell me a story, there is a very, very good chance that Elias Thorne will be the main character in that story. And this is kind of a crazy thing. And it's based on a research paper done by Cornell where they generated over 2,000 stories from ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini with bare bones, simple prompts like write me a story, tell me a story, and all that stuff. And they found that the same 11 words were including the name Elias, Mara, Alara. These aren't like simple names. The profession of a lighthouse keeper, a clockmaker. Those words or phrases in some form or fashion were in 88% of the 20,000 stories that they had generated by AI.
What? So, but nobody fed it this. So, like, it's kind of run off on its own with like it's created a character and now it's implementing it everywhere.
Yeah, they didn't give it any other ideas or prompts besides just very simple language prompts. Here, I'll show you the numbers right here. So this is the study here. And out of all of the prompts, 88% of the prompts contained those words, one of those mentions of those words. But here's the crazy thing. It's now appearing in like online and other things. Like there's this story about there's this story about this guy Elias Thorne, who's the richest guy in Ohio. That's some AI slop article that's online. Elias Thorne is showing up as the author of like thriller books. Also the lead character in other books.
They're pretending to be real. Like they're pretending this is a real story about a real man in Ohio, but it's fake.
Yes. So people are using AI, or somebody is building AI bots that are creating stories or creating novels or writing books, having them published on Amazon. And the name Elias Thorne is jumping up. Here was a stat that really blew my mind. So on Google Trends, if you go and you search Elias Thorne on Google Trends, from 2015 to 2025, it's flat. There is nothing. But if in 2026, it peaks, it goes like shoots straight up. And what happened in 2026? Well, AI became readily available to people. Here are a couple of the books that Elias Thorne has written that are on Amazon right now. Look at this. Unlock YouTube Unlocked, written by Elias Thorne. The Book of Enoch, which is the complete book of Enoch and Jasper's Jubilee, compiled by Elias Thorne.
Greek. I like the prices.
Yeah,
$0.
The price 99 cents.
What they're worth.
One book is $13.99. I don't know about that one.
Wait, put that graphic back up one more time. Yeah. I listen. I'm not trying to support any of this and knock it off robots, but the last picture on the bottom right there, they wrote a book called The Wife Who Forgot. I may need to check that one out. That is not a reality. That's a fiction work, right?
Yeah. My wife doesn't forget shit.
No, sir. No,
what
sir.
Did she? Yeah. What did she forget?
Yeah, I'd be interested to peruse the back cover on that one. I want to see what that one's about.
But here's the crazy thing. It's like, listen, like this is a multi-trillion-dollar word calculator that we've built with multiple companies. And this is what it's generating for us. It's like the same regurgitated stuff over and over again. It's like an old man. Pretty soon, everything is just going to be, there was this old man named Elias who lived in a lighthouse and made clocks.
What the hell, man? I don't even understand the purpose of any of this.
Does it make you,
what are we doing?
Does it make you feel any better that like AI is like doing this stuff?
No, my only hope is that it got tricked into all this because everybody's trying to like blow it up from the inside. So people that were programming just kept pumping fake Elias Thorne stuff in there so that everybody would be like, oh, this is all garbage and trash. AI's trash.
Yeah. I mean, like, who do you yell at this point? Like, if like
your phone, it's listening right now. Go ahead, right in the middle of this podcast, guys. Just yell out some shit about Elias Thorne, and you'll see it later in your feed.
Hey, AI overlords, it's okay. We love the Elias Thorne books. They're fucking great. We love them.
No, I hate them. I got a moat around the house. Come and get me.
So now everybody, everybody's AI tells her this. Now you can add to M dashes and the word delve being used too many times. And now Elias Thorne. If you see somebody say Elias Thorne in a thing, you're like, oh yeah, that's AI.
That's not real. That's not a person. That's not a person. All right, buddy. I got a little knock it off robot for you. Here we go.
Okay, let's
knock it off, robot. Knock it off, robots. All right, I don't know if you saw this. Take a look at this video. buddy, if you guys are not watching live, that is a carnival in the middle of China, and they have this little robot with a little fun purple afro on or something walking through the crowd doing karate moves. And then he turns around and does this spin kick, and the robot kicks a kid right in the stomach, full robot hydraulic leg, blasts the kid, and he just folds up and goes down. And then the robot slowly backs itself out of the screen like Homer Simpson, like, uh-oh. That kid died. Dumbo, that kid got kicked. That kid died.
Yeah. That
so
kid is, yeah.
What are we doing? What are we doing? That kid is now dead.
Yeah.
From a robot kick. Now, I will tell you this. Full disclosure, that kid is not dead, but he could be. He could be, was my point.
And it could be your kid. I mean, it's like, listen, that's just the beginning of it. You know, it's like when the drones are flying around, identifying your face and your stride and your walk, you know, how they have the little stick things that can identify who you are from how you walk. And they're hunting you down because you posted something mean about Elon Musk. That's the future we're running towards, isn't it?
You ain't getting rid of it. You ain't getting rid of it.
You know, I don't know, man. As an old man, I'm like, can I still pour water on that thing, Mike, and get away?
I'll tell you what, if I was in that crowd and that was my kid, I would have found out, because then my further question to my lawyer was going to be, this is self-defense, right? They're trying to make these things humanoid. It kicked me. I don't care what it was worth. I ripped it apart and poured water on it. Fuck it.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that? What was that show? The Black Mirror episode where they have the robot drone dog that's hunting these people. That is a terror. If people want to be terrified about our future, watch that, because that is rough.
Now I'm kind of rooting for these things, though, right? Because they're all going to be made by SpaceX, and I own stock. Now I'm kind of rooting for these things now.
You got to root for them, man. You got to root for them now. Why are you talking bad about it? Can't we just be optimistic? Yeah. That's my new favorite thing when you listen to these tech guys. If you guys want to feel better about yourselves, just in terms of what your intellect is, go and listen to interviews with venture capitalists from Silicon Valley, because these people are the dumbest rich people you will ever hear. They're like,
no, they will talk to you like you're stupid.
Yeah. But they're like, why would I self-evaluate? I just find like self-reflection a waste of time. You shouldn't self-reflect. Why are we being pessimistic about SpaceX? Even though you could say that it's going to take the entire market down, but you know, you could also be optimistic about it. And I just don't see any sense in dwelling on what could go wrong. And you're like, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? I was listening to a guy on one of these shows the other day talking about the same damn thing. And he was like, I don't understand why everybody's so doom and gloom with the AI. Everybody thinks that the robots are going to eat the children and take over the world. Why are we not excited about the fact that this thing could cure cancer? This thing could quickly cure cancer in the next couple of weeks. And he started naming like all these great things that it could do. And I'm like you people are going to let it do any of those things. Those things are not on your list of things that's going to do. And if AI cures cancer, they're sure as hell going to keep it a secret, because drugs make more money. Like, who are you trying to sell this garbage to? It's not going to be used for good.
Correction, Mike. AI chatbot Elias Thorne cured cancer. He's got a #1 ranked book on Amazon. Holistically curing cancer. You just have to eat a lot of beet juice, and you're all set. You're all set.
Wow. I'm finding out today that I'm quick to be rich off SpaceX, and beet juice is going to keep me healthy. AI's awesome.
AI's the best. AI's the best.
Knock it off.
Knock it off.
Knock it off.
Mike, did you watch the Knicks this weekend, America's team?
Yeah, I watched it. Wouldn't call them America's team, but I watched them.
Well, you're listening to a Pistons fan and a Bulls fan talking about the Knicks. And I think, they've had a week. After the end of this week, the Knicks can go back to being the garbage dump fan base that we all know they are, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Are we ready to do it? I think, there are Knicks fans that I'm like, great. It's been 50 plus years. They deserve. Spike Lee has been a Knicks fan, been going to Knicks games since like 91.
Yeah, happy for Spike. Yeah.
If you had to suffer through all that, even Ben Stiller has been a Knicks fan for a long time. But there've been some pretty cringy things that have come out of the the recent Knicks
Bandwagon, man.
bandwagoning that have happened recently. And I'm going to show you some images here that just drive me a little bit crazy. Here you go.
Let's see them.
Have you seen this?
Oh, okay. I know that's Taylor Swift. I don't know the other girls.
And Haim sitting courtside at the Knicks game. I think that was.
What did their shirts say? What they say?
Shirt say Stevie Nicks, Nicole Kidman, and Nickelback. Cute idea, fun. Can you imagine that? You're like,
what?
Hey, Taylor, thanks for inviting me to the free the courtside tickets to see the Knicks game. She's like, great. Hey, I made t-shirts for us all to wear. What?
What do they say? Well, one of them is an Australian actress. The other is a Canadian band. And what is she wearing? Stevie. I guess Stevie Nicks is American, maybe a New Yorker. California. I don't know. I don't even follow what that means.
I think it's just a play off of the name Knicks. But here's the thing. Some of the tickets to this game were outrageous. Game 4, outrageous. People were paying $200,000 for tickets to go to the games. And they were interviewing people outside the stadium and they were saying like, oh, like how much did you pay? Oh, $10,000. How much did you pay? Well, for all 4 seats, it was $200,000, $50,000.
Crazy.
Most of the people who were on the celebrity row get in for free.
Yeah. Yeah. They did $1 million auction for charity or something for the playoffs, but normally it's for free. Yeah.
It's for free.
That's crazy.
I mean, I get that Spike Lee, he goes to every game. You know what I mean? He is like literally the Knicks mascot, you know? Ben Stiller, lifelong Knicks fan. Like, I don't begrudge him at all. Even Timothy Chalamet, who is like, you know, sometimes he's annoying, but honestly, I think he would be kind of fun to party with. Like, I think he'd be fun to go.
I shared a trailer with him on a set. I could tell you all about him if you want.
He seems like a nice guy. I don't know. Maybe
he was a nice kid. He was a kid back then. He was a nice kid.
Yeah. But I think it's like, he looks like a fun time. I could party with him for one night as long as ketamine isn't involved. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm down. Like, but the types of people that came out of the woodwork to root for the Knicks, you know, kind of grossed me out a little bit. And the income disparity in the fan bases, it's just like, what are we doing here?
It's always like that. It's always like that. These tickets, like World Cup right now, $10,000 just to get into like a pool play game. Like, get out of here. I mean, these events are no longer for regular people.
No,
these are not for fans. The TV contract is for the fans.
Yeah.
And you're going to pay for that because you're going to need 15 subscriptions to watch all the games. So as a fan, you're going to pay for the TV contract, which gives the league enough money to not let you go into the games.
To go in, and Madison Square Garden doesn't pay any property taxes. They don't pay property taxes there. So they get a tax break and they get to charge their fans. I mean, a lot of that was scalping. Like, I think season ticket holders.
Now, when did tickets not, like, that used to be a thing you couldn't scalp, but as soon as you had companies on the internet selling tickets, now all of a sudden it's legal. You used to get arrested outside the stadium if you sold it for $5 over the face value. Yep. Now it's like you can be online and charge 4 times. I don't understand when did it change?
It's part of it. We're in the Biff timeline. I mean, I'm telling you, it's like you can gamble openly on these games, even if you're affiliated with the teams. You can gamble on pretty much anything you want to now. You can scalp and do whatever you want to. There are no rules anymore. So, you know, some of these tickets are going for tens of thousands of, dollars. It's crazy.
Yeah, no thanks.
But if I was a season ticket holder and I had 4 tickets and somebody wanted to pay me $200,000 to go to the game, I'm doing it. I'm
taking the money. I'll take the money.
I know people who have season tickets to like the Cubs and the Blackhawks and the Bulls, and they part of their income is scalping those tickets.
Yeah.
You know,
it is.
So, but yeah, I don't know. It just kind of, as much as the Knicks are a very fun team to watch. that series was awesome. I mean, I don't know another series. I can't recall another series where the games were that close. Like all of the games were within 10 points.
By the end.
Yeah. By the end.
At the halftime, it was 30-point lead, but
no, but that was also the crazy thing. It's like the Knicks just kept coming back. You couldn't put them away.
Yeah.
Like, it was an exciting series and it was good for basketball, but
it's what basketball needed.
Oh, desperately needed it.
Yeah.
But I just think it's crazy that especially with the Knicks, which is a team that really has a rabid fan base, and they torched up New York. It was great to watch for the most part. I don't like seeing them beating up Spurs fans for no reason or tearing apart cars.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. But there are some great videos of people partying in New York City, and I love it. I have friends that live there. Everybody was swept up in it. It's nothing like
from a man, Tracy Morgan.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing like being in a town where your town wins a championship of a team that cares about them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that hasn't won one for 50-something years. It's a big deal. It was a big deal. It was great for them. You know what I mean? It was good for basketball. Basketball needed it badly.
Yeah.
You know, but every time something like that happens in a major city, you're going to have that. Like, look at the Dodgers in the World Series, and then look at all the people, all the actors out there, you know, that are at the game. Like, go Dodgers. And I'm like, you're from fucking Missouri, pal. What do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So,
but it's also like anybody who's been to a Dodgers game knows that, like, you know, a third of the stadium empties out, even if they're winning, even if it's a close game. Right. You're like, why are you leaving, man? But you know, it's you know, I just think it's another story that shows the income disparity between, you know, normal people and everybody else, you know.
Yeah, it's showing. It's more so than the income disparity. The ticket thing, I think, is showing a direct reflection of what you were saying, more so about there's no rules anymore, and now the gap is getting so big. Income disparity a couple years ago could be a good story for this, but looking at it now, where it's like tickets are, you know, $10,000 for a regular playoff game.
Oh yeah,
just like 4 or 5 years ago, I was buying playoff tickets for like $250, $300. Like, what? So this is more so where we're headed. You know, like everything's going to cost $1 million, or you can't have it, and that's it.
Yeah, we're all going to get edged out and not get to have these experiences and be subsidizing them with tax dollars.
Yeah. Here's another thing we could brush everybody up on maybe next week or so, but like, this is a good question for you just to think about for next week. With the cost of everything going through the roof the way it is, prices are going up like crazy, not just because of the inflation and the Iran war and Hormuz. Like, they've been going up like this for a while now. And once they go up, they're not coming down. You know that. Once a company gets milk up to $8, it ain't coming back down. You know what I mean? So all these prices are going through the roof. Take a good look at a chart and see how anybody's pay has been raised across the board. I'm talking doctors, lawyers, French fry maker, you know, car wash guy, across the board, not just poor people. Nobody's getting an increase in their salary to match these increases in product prices. What do they think is going to happen here?
Well, I don't want to digress too much, but I will say this.
Let's not.
Plenty.
No, go ahead. I'm playing.
Oh no, let's do our next story. Screw it. Yeah, I get that. I get your hint, Mike. I get your hint.
No,
I'm a little too granular.
No, we've been a little heavy today.
This timeline.
What are you looking at, butthead?
Are we going to talk about this UFC match
for 2 minutes? About all it's worth. I mean, honestly,
this is the thing that drives me crazy about it. I mean, this is kind of the images from the match itself, and then what they did to the White House. You can see that they've torn down this whole side of the White House, and they put up this freaking cage. I was madder about this than I thought I would be. I thought I would just goof on it and be like, this is ridiculous. But watching it and like watching the clips from it and watching U.S. Marines who salute caskets coming off of helicopters, saluting people who are known domestic abusers, and, you know, like Dana White, who there's video of him smacking his wife at a club and like all this stuff. I just felt like it was, and I don't know, like I don't consider myself a rah red, white, and blue patriotic guy, but there was a part of me that just felt like a sense of desecration at watching the
Yeah.
sort of clown show that was whatever this was, you know?
Yeah. Well, I do paint myself a patriotic dude, and I'm like, but it ain't that. That
No,
ain't it. That don't scream
no,
patriotism to me. That screams ignorance. This is
no.
like idiocracy. And I'm a fan like of UFC. Like I bet on a lot of the fights that night. I was checking in to see some of the outcomes and stuff and
Yeah.
trying to avoid
Yeah.
watching it, but I'm like, so it ain't that either. Like I'm into those things. I like those things, but I'm like, not there, not that. And then you get the asshole that makes the Michelle Obama comment, and you're
Oh
like,
my
what do you
God,
do? What are
dude.
we doing?
What
What
are
are we
we
doing?
what are we doing? And like, why why did
Yeah.
we do this? Like, it doesn't, we're
Stupid.
paying for it, aren't we? Do you think we're
Yeah.
not paying for it? You think that's
Of course
real?
we are. Of course we are. You fucking idiots think you're not. Of course we are. Of
I
course we
mean,
are. I think the funniest thing that came out of this whole thing was
please
Eric
make me
Trump.
laugh. We've been very
Yeah,
serious.
Eric Trump trying to text Cromier, who's like one of the announcers and Hall of Famer and stuff. If you know UFC, like he's one of the main guys. A good dude too.
He's a straight
Um,
up guy, right?
he's a straight up good dude, man. He's a really good dude. I love listening to him call the fights. He's a good dude. He's a good human being. Eric Trump reaches out to him out of nowhere. You can find these online and they're
Oh,
real.
no, I
Oh,
have
you
it.
got a copy? There we go. Yeah.
He says, I'll just cut to the chase. Any of these fights tomorrow are rigged. I've been eyeing the Lopez fight, and I think an upset wouldn't be too unrealistic money. And then he responds, no, none of the fights are rigged. Honestly, I'm appalled that you would even ask me something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then he
He asked
posted
him,
it on
well,
Twitter and then immediately took it down. And then they're trying to play it off like it's this big joke.
no,
But
it's not no big joke. Cromier posted it and then quickly got some phone calls from people like you, Dana White, telling
yeah,
him you need to take that down, boss, now. But people
and
had already screenshot it. You know what I mean? Like
but
Eric Trump had asked him, "Are any of the guys hurt or injured?" At first, he asked him like for inside
well, we'll
information,
put
like
it
any of
back
the
up.
guys hurt or injured or anything. And then Daniel was like, "Nah, I'm not sure why you're really asking me about that kind of stuff. Anyway, man, that seems weird." And then he followed up with, "Well, I'll just cut to the chase. Any of these fights going to be rigged tomorrow night? Like any, horse I should put my money on tomorrow night? Wink, who should I bet on?" And Cromier was like, "Man, I'm appalled you even asking me this, dude. What the fuck? No." You know what I mean? Like, now the funniest part to me isn't that Eric Trump is a Weasley fucking asshole. We know that. That
Yeah.
doesn't make me laugh. What makes me laugh is, didn't him and his brother get like a $500 million investment in their drone company and their Bitcoin and these guys are walking around half a billionaire right now, and you're texting the guy that's calling the fight tonight to see who you should put $100 on? Like you need inside information to hit a paycheck tonight. I could win like $5,000 on the fight tonight. What what the fuck are
Well,
you
I think it's
doing?
like it's pathological, and I don't even think it's about the money. I think it's about gaming the system. It's about getting away with something that you and I don't get away with. You
I
know,
guess,
it's
yeah.
using
I mean,
no, it's 100% is. It's like
totally, yeah.
using their power and their connections and flaunting it and throwing it around to get an advantage on it makes them feel bigger, Mike. It
Yeah,
makes them feel like big men. And we're little guys because we don't have anything, right? It's like
yeah,
that's
yeah,
how
yeah.
they view it. And it's gross. It's gross. But this is why it's like
Yeah.
for you and me, like listen, man, I've fucking worked in construction and and worked with my hands, and you have too. And it's like I look at these guys and I'm just like, not impressed. Not impressed with I don't care that they're rich. I'm just not impressed with any of them at all. You know,
No. I think the funniest part about the Trump family is like things like this, where like you see in movies and stuff where they have like when the father has really built up the wealth and then the sons turn out like the Trump sons are all entitled and dumb as fuck because they never bothered to learn anything and
oh
they could
yeah.
never run the company and they're dumbasses and but usually, like in that film, the dad's like embarrassed of him. Like if this kid would have come home and be like, "Hey, I text Daniel Cromier, he said fucking get a good line on the guy in the fight, Dad," and then he's like, "Yeah, asshole," and he put them all over the internet. Are you fucking dumb? Like the leader of that family would be so embarrassed by that child's stupidity in that moment. And I feel like the Trump family's hilarious because he went in there and told him that, and Trump was like, "It's a good idea. Really smart, Eric. That's a good idea. It probably knows. Probably does know. Probably knows a thing or two. Who could win some money tonight? And I'm like, that's the epitome of it. It's so
Dad,
stupid.
Dad, I made sure I put it in writing. I made
Yeah.
sure that it was in writing so that we'd have a track record of it.
No, he said, well, that's what Donnie asked. You texted to him, right? This wasn't a phone call. Couldn't record it. You texted because we all know someone gets a hold of your phone at 4 a.m. And then there's pictures of the Obamas as apes. But you didn't do it. You didn't do it. I didn't do it. It's a text. I didn't do it. Somebody else texted my phone. So stupid.
Someone hacked
just
my
fumbling
phone.
fools.
Yeah. It's like someone hacks my phone and it got unhacked 3 minutes later. And I was able to delete that tweet. That's like
I was
what
able
they're
to
telling us to believe, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just like, I feel like this is going to break at some point, but it's exhausting. I'm tired, man. I'm fucking tired.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. And then that other fight that Kolick or whatever his name is, that he gets the microphone and says, oh, one last thing to say, America. Michelle Obama's a man. I mean, am I right? And then, like, I tell you what, I will say this. There was not a loud cheer. That guy thought he was going to get a pop off that crowd. There was not. Everybody was kind of like, that's weird, man. Even that crowd was kind of like, what are you doing? You know?
Yep.
Like, it was just weird. And that guy's a phony. He's trying to do this macho man thing. He's wearing the bandana and the sunglasses all the time. And he's just trying to be like, he's trying to go straight heel. So, like, I don't even think that's something obviously you don't believe that. He's a fucking idiot. But
yeah,
he's just like, he's got videos of himself online, like interviewing homeless people and trying to be like antagonizing them and stuff like that. He's trying to do this WWF like heel thing and trying to bring it to UFC. And everybody, even the UFC fighters, are like, bro, this is stupid, man. This is like, stop. You know?
But then the one fighter got arrested, right? The guy who hates Trump and calls him a PDF file.
Yeah, they kicked him out of there. Yeah.
Yeah, they kicked him out because he hates Trump. I mean, I think that the thing that's like, it is just talking about the other guy. I don't know his name, who, you know, throws up on himself at weigh-ins or whatever his deal is. The guy who said Michelle Obama's a man. You see, like, Shane Gillis getting interviewed as he's walking out of that thing, and he's like, God, I was real disappointed. I was like, you are really sure you're disappointed in the most predictable fucking thing happening on the planet happening, that they're going to either call Michelle Obama a man or call Barack Obama a monkey?
So you knew something was going to happen. Like
dude.
Joe Rogan, like, be smarter than that, bro. You say what you want to say about Joe Rogan, and it's fine. I don't care. But, like, the dude is, he's good on the mic UFC. He's been there since it was nothing. It's a spot he deserves. It's not like he's a Johnny come lately when it got, you know, famous. He's into that thing. He loves that thing. He does it. He's good. He's good in the ring on the interviews and stuff. He should have known better than to hand that guy that microphone. You don't ever hand anyone the microphone when you're doing the interview. And he let the guy take the microphone right from him and start walking around talking. At that moment, you're like, I'm fucked. You know what I mean?
Like, I think the other thing too, and to say something to that, Mike, and we can move on to our He-Man review because we're going long today. Man, we had a lot to talk about. We got to talk about He-Man. But I will say this, it'd be one thing if you wanted to have a USC thing in the nation's capital and make it like a patriotic event on the thing. There's a lot of connections between Dana White and the monopoly that is UFC and the Trump administration, and favors being done back and forth in terms of capital investment and people making
Trump's
a lot of money.
Trump's part owner of TKO Sports. Yes,
exactly. The emoluments clause might as well not exist. They just basically ripped it up and shit on it, like, over the weekend, and a lot of corruption in that. Whatever. You want to do some type of sporting event and connect it with 250, do it. But it just seemed like an amped up regular old UFC match. Like, there was no real deference other than exploiting the backdrop for photo opportunities to the White House. And that speaks to the fact that Joe Rogan was willing to hand him that microphone, and with no care or intentionality towards what they were representing, that they were representing the United States, what the White House represents to a lot of people, what the capital of the country represents to a lot of people. They just were like, yeah, fuck it. Let's just hand this douchebag a mic that's known for saying douchebag racist shit. Let's just hand him the mic and see what happens. There was just no intentions given towards any of that stuff. Should have known better and should have had more respect, but they have no respect for the country. And part of the game is to denigrate everything because they're pieces. This is me saying it. I'm not speaking for you. They're pieces of shit. And when you're dealing with a piece of shit, they get shit on everything and they turn everything else to shit. And that's what they're doing to this country. Sorry. I'm out.
But that's why the Knicks lost game 3, the only damn game they lost, the one Trump showed up to. He just has an effect on things like that, man. He shows up and the teams fucking lose, man.
He did fall asleep on the match. He did fall asleep in the match. That was
of course he did. Of course he did. You know what I mean? But no, that had no place happening there. It was a joke. You made a mockery. You made a mockery of ourselves. And quite frankly, UFC did as well. Like I said, like I'm a fan, and to be associated with that thing and then pretend like you were prideful of it, like you didn't look at that later and go, that might have been a bit too far. That might have not been a good look for us. You know what I mean?
I think ultimately it was pretty embarrassing for everybody all around. I don't think it was a win at all. That's going to do it for the main show for the brush up. We've run out of time here. We're going to do a separate He-Man review, which you could download on the podcast or also see on YouTube, our full He-Man review. I know you guys are waiting on that. We spent a lot of time talking about a lot of stuff. So, spent
a lot of time talking about a lot of politics stuff. Next week, let's do a bunch of fun stories. Let's do a bunch of fun stories.
Let's do a bunch of fun stories. Thank you guys for listening. As always, make sure to like and subscribe. Have been like and subscribe. And you have been
brushed up. Brushed me up, baby. You've been brushed up.
Fuck that. We don't have that shit. I'm going to go bald today. I'm going to go full bald. Everybody will see what I look like.
Beautiful. You look beautiful.